Next up, we have Shahar from Humaneyes Technologies, better known for their Vuze brand of VR cameras. Very, very exciting here, so thank you, Shahar.
Thank you very much. Oops, just a second. Yep. So my name is Shahar Bin-Nun. I'm the CEO of Humaneyes Technologies, the curator of the Vuze camera, the one that is staring at you right now. I'm going to show a little video clip first, and then that will lead us to the main topic of this presentation, which is the ultimate immersive experience. What is the ultimate immersive experience? And what is actually the gap that we and the entire industry is facing and we need to close in order to get there? So, a few words about Humaneyes Technologies. The company was based in 2000 by Professor Peleg from the Hebrew University in Jerusalem, Israel. And the initial invention 17 years ago was a 3D 360 photography solution. But the problem, there was no device that could actually display it, say, printing stuff. So 70 patents and 14 years later, we have decided to build our own VR camera. And the idea was very simple. We wanted to allow everyone, literally everyone, to easily create high-quality VR content. And we wanted it as immersive as this. But actually, the beginning was much less glamorous. We started with ugly rigs, dozens of prototypes, until we reached this nice little device. We had a long, 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 long way ahead of us in 2014. So, what is the ultimate immersive experience? First of all, it must be full 360. We see things in 360. Cannot be partial 360. That's obvious. But you know, the world isn't flat. We see things in 3D. We see each other in 3D. So if you want a full immersive experience, it must be in 3D, in our opinion. But that's not enough also. It has to have 360 audio, spatial audio, because we hear things in 360. If I have a crying baby here and a laughing baby here, I know that the crying baby is on the right side, even if I close my eyes. If I turn around, I know that the crying baby would be on the left side. So that's critical also. Unfortunately, that is not enough as well. It has to have a retina resolution. I will speak about it in the next slide. And it must be very, very high frame rate. And these two sections are actually the gap of the entire industry. So what is a VR retina resolution? Basically, we do not want to see the pixels. And I'm sure that anyone here who has seen the first time a VR video or a VR image said to himself, what are these gigantic pixels? And let me explain why. Actually, a human field of view is approximately 120 degrees by 90 degrees. Basically, it fits 6 times into a sphere. So even if you take a 4K file on a very good screen, you divide it by 6, you're just getting an okay resolution. And the problem gets even worse because we're using VR headset that magnifies the screen in 2 centimeters distance away from our eyes. So this is why we need approximately, simple calculation tells us that we need at least 12K and probably around 16K to get a retina resolution. 16K, can you imagine? The problem is none of these platforms that are helping us enjoy the amazingness of 360 support 12K or definitely not 16K. We are actually seeing some beginning of 8K, which is very, very, very nice. But the distribution platforms, Facebook, YouTube, and others simply cannot support that kind of resolution, but it's getting there, and it's getting there faster than you can imagine. The next challenge is the frame rate. Researchers show that the frame rate is the #1 reason for VR nausea. #1 reason, not other things that you could imagine. And they claim also, the same researchers, that it has to be actually in around 200 frames per second. 200 frames per second, or even more than that. Can you imagine the amount of data that need to be processed, 16K and 200 frames per second? We're not there yet, but it will be there. That's the good news. The industry is so dynamic. Charles mentioned before that it is on the verge of mass adoption, and I totally agree with him. In order to get there, the entire industry, the manufacturers, the capturing devices, the distribution platforms should support higher frame rates, basically higher data. So a few words about our own human immersive experience of Humaneyes, of the Vuze camera. So it does have full circle 360. It does have 3D, 4K per eye. So the camera generates 8K in total, but 4K per eye. It has 4 audio channels to capture the audio in 360. And the nice thing about the camera also that it is relatively affordable and portable. Relatively portable. So it fits your pocket and your wallet. So that's in our opinion, a huge step forward into the ultimate immersive experience. But as I said, the entire industry, including us, of course, has the gap to close. Some more specs about the camera: 2 hours battery time that can be extended endlessly with a power bank. Replaceable micro SD, which can host a lot of street view images, up to 256 gigabytes, 4 hours of recording of video, and Wi-Fi connectivity, so it can be supported by an application that serves as a remote control. It comes with 5 free licenses of our Humaneyes VR Studio. So with this studio, you can do quite a lot. But again, the idea was to do it extremely simple for the consumers, once the consumers are ready. We wanted to do it with just 1 click of a button. So you can import, preview and edit, render, but all this you can do with one click of a button, and we are very, very proud to announce here at the Google Street Summit that we are Google Street View compatible. Again, with one click of a button. Let me show you how it is actually done in our software with just one click of a button. So basically, you connect the camera to your computer, you see all the videos you just captured, you click on render and share, and it's done. This is just outside of our office in the hills of Jerusalem. But as I said, you can do much more than that for a bit more advanced users. And quite frankly, most of our customers are a bit more advanced right now. The early adopters, the VR enthusiasts, are a bit more savvy with the technology, and they do much more with just stitching and sharing. For example, when you upload an image, you can trim it. You always need to trim a little bit the video. You can flip it 180 if you attach it to a drone. You can choose the center, which is a very, very important thing. That's the first thing that you see when you put a VR headset on your head. You can cut the field of view to basically any degree that you want. If for any reason you don't want to have 360, you just want to have 279, that's fine as well. Just trim it. And you can use the advanced tools to edit, improve stitching if necessary, color management, etc. The result is a standard MP4 file with two panoramas, one for the left eye, and one for the right eye, that you can take it to post-editing if you want in additional editing with other tools as well. So, again, as Charles said, we're just getting started. When we say we, the entire industry, just getting started. The mobile phone industry, it took them about 15 years to get from the bulky smartphones, iPhone, or phones in general. Remember those big, gigantic phones? Until getting to these smartphones of right now, 15 years. The VR industry doesn't have 15 years. It started a few years ago, and within a few more years, it will get into the ultimate immersive experience, which means the devices will be much slicker and smaller and nicer, and the content will be superb. It is already pretty awesome right now, but it will be much, much, much better in the next few years. So, you see this guy. Let me tell you a story about a guy who was a bit too drunk and missed the entire party. Luckily, with VR Ultimate Immersive Experience, he could relive the moment. Oops, doesn't run the video. It doesn't run the video. So, I don't know why it doesn't run, but anyway, I can tell you that this guy eventually saw the entire party as if he was there. So thank you very much for the time.
Okay. It looks like perhaps that video is better left censored anyway from the shot that I saw there. I did see amongst the audience there was some head nodding when you were talking about the resolution requirements and frame rate requirements. I think you said it well. This is just the beginning, and that the bar for truly being there is pretty high. To me, it feels like sort of the early stages of television or movie making. We've come a long way, but where we go in the next 10 years will make all the difference. At some point, this will be status quo. My daughter and son run up to the TV and they do the classic, why is this iPad not moving when they drag on the TV? But I think this sort of immersive, put you in the moment 360 experience will just be par for the course in the next few years. So it's exciting to see where companies like yours will take things.